Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Olsentowski. I'm back with another UFC prediction video. This time, UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Imavov. This event goes down Saturday, February 1st, 2025. Prelims begin at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going down from Saudi Arabia. Very stacked card. Let's get into it, guys. First fight up, Ziam against Mike Davis. Mike Davis, man, he's been very impressive in his UFC run, man. This guy is a force. And, you know, he just seems like he just hasn't fought often, man. He's 32 years old, 4-fight winning streak. He hasn't fought tough competition, though. Beat Thomas Gifford, Mason Jones, Borishev, Levy. Lost to Burns in his UFC debut, but this guy's a gamer, man. He's finally fighting. He's getting a step up in competition here for Ziam. He's no easy fight for anybody, man. He's coming off that huge knockout win over Matt Frevola. I didn't understand the odds to that fight at close pick'em. He absolutely destroyed Frevola. Beat Claudio Puelles, Herbert, Figlak. His only loss was to McKinney. McKinney kind of schooled him on the ground. This guy's fought often, man. And he's got a huge size advantage at lightweight to most guys. I'm going to pick him here. This is going to be an interesting fight. I just think Ziam might edge him out here. But, again, I could see Davis winning. There's no odds released for this fight yet, I believe. But I'm going to lean Ziam. Al-Selwady against Levitt. I think Levitt's kind of a can in the promotion. He's been subbed by some of the better submission guys. Al-Selwady's coming off that TKO loss to Loic Ratsambov in a fight that I had 1-1 going into the third. So I think they're trying to get Al-Selwady a win here. I'm going to side with Al-Selwady. I don't see odds for this fight, but I will be picking Al-Selwady there. Terrence McKinney against Damir Hadjovic. I don't understand how Damir is still in the UFC. This guy hasn't even been active. Feels like he hasn't won in ages. He's been around since 2016, but I don't really know how. Terrence McKinney, he's an exciting fighter, man. You know, he either gets knocked out or he knocks somebody out. He's coming off a 20-second knockout loss to Esteban Ribovics. Beat Brandon Marat before that, beat Mike Breeden. So this guy steps up and fights anybody, man. I feel like he should probably be fighting better competition, but I'm going to pick him to get the win here, and they're probably going to cut Damir Hadjovic after this fight. Bogdan Grad against Lucas Alexander. Let's look at Bogdan. Coming off a decision win. Oh, he's coming off a split decision win over Michael Axwell in his UFC in his Dana White Contender Series. Lucas Alexander, one fight losing streak. Lost to Jekka Saragai. Got knocked out. I mean, I'm gonna side with the Dana White Contender Series guy in Bogdan. I think they're probably trying to get him a win here against somebody that's not too highly ranked. So I'm gonna pick Bogdan here to get the win. Shamil Gaziev against Thomas Peterson. Peterson keeps winning fights. He's on a 1-fight winning streak. Beat Mohammed Usman, who's a good fighter at heavyweight in my opinion. Lost to Jamal Pogues before that. Beat Chandler Cole. And they're not giving him an easy out here against Gaziev. I think Gaziev should be fighting better competition. He lost to Jairzinho, but he gassed out in that fight. You know, it was a 5-round main event. I think he's learned from that. 34 years old, 1-fight winning streak. He absolutely dominated Dontel Mays in his last fight. You know, we know he lost to Jairzinho, but I think this guy's a good fighter, man. I mean, they're building him up, and I think Gaziev is going to beat Peterson here. I just think he's too strong, just a better fighter. So my pick will be Gaziev. Jasmine Jasudavicius against Mayra Bueno Silva. Bueno Silva, 2-fight losing streak. She was highly ranked at one point in her career. Lost to Pennington and Chiazon. Again, she beat home, but I think she tested positive for a banned substance. Again, lost to Pennington in that championship fight. Lost to Chiazon, which was kind of weird to me because she did beat Chiazon, or she did win that first round over Chiazon in that fight. And then in like the second round, it just seemed like she got on, Chiazon got her down and she started landing some elbows or something, and they stopped the fight or whatever. But I was like, man, what a difference compared to the first round. Jasudavicius, 3-fight winning streak. She beat Ariane Lipsky, Fatima Klein, Priscilla. She's really come around, man, into her own. I'm going to side with Jasmine here, but it won't surprise me if Mauro Silva gets back on the inner winning ways here, man. I think she is still a talented fighter despite the, the recent 2 losses. But I am going to pick Jasmine here. Hamdi, I'm the deep against Jamal Pogues. Again, Hamdi's 3-0. I don't really know if I've seen him fight. No contest against Demel Mays, so I think he probably won it back in July of 2022. Again, a 3-0 UFC record, and he's going up against Jamal Pogues, who I'm going to side with Pogues here, man. 11-4, 1-fight winning streak. I think he did look better against Peterson in his last fight. Lost to Mick Parkin, who's been beating a lot of guys at heavyweight. But, I mean, I just think Pogues wasn't just... his skills weren't polished enough in that fight. Parkin was just a little better technically. A little quicker to the punch. But I'm going to side with Pogues. Syed Nurmagomedov against Vinicius Oliveira. And I feel like Syed, we just really haven't seen this guy elevate himself in the rankings at all. Let's look at Syed first. 1-fight winning streak, 32 years old. Coming off a win over Malin Gafarov. Lost to Jonathan Martinez before that. Martinez, he's been losing his last couple fights. Vinicius Oliveira, man, this guy is a feared striker, man. He looks really good standing and striking. 29 years old. Coming off wins over Ricky Simone and Bernardo Sapchai. Again, man, we've seen Ricky Simone lose his last few fights. But, I mean, that is impressive anytime you can beat Ricky Simone, man, who is still a talented wrestler and fighter. The odds on this fight, Syed minus 275. Comeback on Oliveira plus 225. I imagine a lot of people are going to be siding with Oliveira here and betting him at those odds. Seems like a lot of value. And I'm going to pick Oliveira to beat Nurmagomedov. Muhammad Naimov against Khan Olfley. Don't really know much about Olfley. Lost to Myron Santos in his UFC debut in August. Naimov, 11-3 record. He's on a 1-fight losing streak. Lost to Felipe Lima. We know how good Lima is. Beat Eric Silva before that. Nathaniel Wood. I'm going to side with Naimov here to beat Olfley. Sergey Pavlovich against Jairzinho Rosenstreich. So we've seen Pavlovich lose his last 2 fights. Looked very timid against Volkov, man. Volkov just used his reach and picked him apart. But Pavlovich has an 84-inch reach himself, but Volkov was the taller fighter, I believe. Jairzinho Rosenstreich, man, this guy keeps winning. Very good fighter. Beat Gaziev. Beat Tai Tuivasa in his last fight. I don't know how that was a split, but he beat Tai. So this is a fight where I think Pavlovich can get back on track. I think he's going to walk down Jairzinho. He's got the reach advantage. Maybe he lands a knockout, but, I mean, Sergey's been tentative. He's been tentative. I think, if he comes in tentative, just knowing that he's lost these last 2 fights, I mean, hey, Jairzinho can land and knock him out, man. Jairzinho hits, man, but Jairzinho, I feel like he's more of a point fighter now. But I don't see him outpointing Sergey here. I think Sergey can land takedowns if he wanted, but I don't think he's going to go there. I think this will be standing. I think Sergey will be plotting forward, throwing strikes. And I'm going to side with Pavlovich here. Ikram Aliskerov against Andre Muniz. They're giving Aliskerov a comeback fight. Terrible performance against Robert Whittaker. It was on short notice, but that was awful. I see Aliskerov knocking out Muniz. We kind of know what Muniz is at this point. He isn't the hype that we thought he was. Again, he was all the everybody was talking about when he beat Jacare Souza back in May. Retired Jacare. and he just hasn't performed since then. So, I think Aliskerov keeps us on the feet, knocks him out, and everybody will be high on Aliskerov again. Shara Magomedov against Michael Page. Don't really understand why Michael Page is moving up to middleweight, man. He hasn't been getting wins at welterweight. Why are you moving up to middleweight? I get it's a kickboxing fight here against Shara. Yeah, he's got the reach advantage over Shara, but Shara is the more natural middleweight here. Page will have the reach advantage over Shara Magomedov, but we've seen Shara fight. We've seen Shara fight smart. I mean, Shara is probably going to use his strength advantage, take Page down if he needs to. He's probably going to be the quicker fighter at middleweight. I mean, look at this, man. He beat Armin Petrosian, Jacek, Tricoli. He's beating legitimate middleweights, guys that are actual middleweights. I don't know if Page just wants a fight where it doesn't go to the ground or something, but I think Shara can take it to the ground. We've seen Shara take it to the ground. I think Shara's going to win this, man. I mean, I get the reach advantage in that over Page, but I'm going to go with the guy that's very active. He's fighting in the Middle East in a place he's comfortable. He's been doing nothing but winning in the UFC. I think this might be his last fight of his contract. He's currently a minus 145, minus 155. And I'm going to side with Shara Magomedov to keep winning. Israel Adesanya against Nasruddin Imavov. When's the last time we have seen Israel Adesanya not in a title fight? So it's weird, man. I could see this fight in a couple different scenarios. I could see this fight as the UFC recognizing that Israel Adesanya is not going to be a champion fighter anymore, and they're giving him to a prospect here in Imavov, who's just been on an absolute roll. Or I could see this as the UFC potentially saying, hey, man, we can't give you another championship fight. You're going to have to beat this guy in order to get back in contention. And it did look like Adesanya was beating Duplessis in that fourth round. And I think he just got caught with a punch. He got hurt, and Duplessis took advantage of a weak moment in Adesanya, locked in the choke. But Adesanya just had that little bit of quit in him, and Duplessis just took advantage of it that quick. But I thought he was really hurting Duplessis on the feet. So, knowing that this is a 5-round non-main event fight, how does Adesanya get motivated for this fight? What's his motivation? Is his motivation to be champion again? Is he just fighting to fulfill the fights on his UFC contract, however many they may be? I don't know. I know Imavov is on a roll here. So let's get into it. Adesanya. 80-inch reach advantage, 6'4", 35 years old. Middleweight. Lost to Duplessis, lost to Strickland, beat Pereira. Lost to Pereira, beat Cannonier, beat Whitaker. You look at the record, you would think his better days are behind him. So, again, a really good fighter. And Imavov, 3-fight winning streak, 28 years old. So he's 7 years younger. He's going to have a slight reach disadvantage at 75 inches. Beat Brennan Allen, beat Cannonier, beat Roman Dolidze. I don't know how he absolutely dominated Dolidze. Lost to Strickland. That was on short notice. This guy's a force, man. And he definitely deserves his opportunity against Adesanya. And I think the value lies on Imavov here. I understand people taking Adesanya. Maybe the guy bounces back, is motivated, finishes Imavov, shows why he should be the next contender to fight the winner of Duplessis against Strickland. I understand that. I could see, and I do think Adesanya's wrestling looked vastly improved against Duplessis too. But I could see Imavov. I don't think Imavov's going to be scared. Imavov can't come into this fight tentatively. He's got to do what he's done in his last few fights. Take guys down, grapple them, just be in their face, not give them any room to fight. And I just think Imavov, he's game, man. He doesn't know nothing but winning. He's going to come in here and perform no matter who the opponent is. And I think he is going to get Adesanya down. He is going to control him. But I don't know. Maybe Imavov starts to gas towards the 4th and 5th rounds. He is, I mean, that kind of has showed in some of his fights. But in some of his fights, he's looked lightning quick on the feet. So I'm going to side with where I think there's value. I think there's value on Imavov here. Currently at plus 154, plus 155. I think we're getting value on a highly ranked fighter here in Imavov. So I'm going to side with Imavov to defeat Adesanya. So guys, my picks: Imavov, Magomedov, Aliskerov, Pavlovich, Naimov, Oliveira, Pogues, Jasudavicius, Gaziev, Grad, McKinney, Al-Selwady, and Ziam.